Local 44 News starts now with your forecast first.
Hey, good evening, everybody. The rain, as advertised, continues to inch closer and closer to us, entering the southwestern Adirondacks. The red spots you see there, pockets of heavy rain, that'll overtake a good chunk of the area as we approach midnight and into early Friday morning. Meanwhile, it's still plenty warm. Upper 70s, low 80s in the Champlain Valley. These numbers will be dropping as we go deeper into the night, but not much. The saving grace here is that we've got quite a bit of wind that is around that's helped making it not feel so stagnant. But here's your forecast first. Showers will be overtaking the area from midnight all the way to 6, so your rain chance going progressively up, especially the more west you are. We'll track the rain, plus see if it'll impact the weekend and the heat we've had right now on Local 44 News at 10.
Our first look at David Sweat, the road ahead for a man who kept the North Country on edge for weeks.
And keeping employees safe, policies in place at the Department for Children and Families.
Plus, what deals to keep your eye on? I've got the lowdown here at the Burton Summer Sale.
From WFFF, this is Local 44 News at 10 in high definition.
Good evening. We thank you for joining us this Thursday night. I'm Lauren Maloney.
And I'm Joe Smith. The manhunt is over, but the New York prison break saga continues from the woods of the Adirondacks to a Clinton County courtroom.
We finally got a chance to see Sweat since his epic capture late June, ending a 3-week-long manhunt. Today, the court issued a not guilty plea on his behalf. Sweat met his attorney just minutes before. Local 44 Stacy DeSilva has more.
David Sweat, dressed in green prison clothes and his arm in a sling, was reportedly in good spirits when he arrived at Clinton County Court.
He was in a good mood today, and we had a pretty good conversation. I think we got along pretty well.
That's court-appointed defense attorney Joe Muscia. He met his client for the first time Thursday morning.
I believe in a strong defense. I believe in a public defense, and I'd be more than happy to take on this case.
This case is one that has swept the nation all summer. David Sweat escaped from Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora June 6th, shot and captured June 28th, 30 miles away in Constable, and now officially indicted on 1 count of promoting prison contraband for allegedly possessing hacksaw blades inside prison walls and 2 counts of escape in the first degree.
The 2 charges of escape in the first degree are just different elements of the same crime, not indicating that there were 2 escapes.
1 count charges the convicted felon with escaping from prison, the other for escaping from custody. The court entered a not guilty plea on Sweat's behalf. Sweat is due back in court September 29th for a pre-trial conference.
I don't even know what his intentions are at this point. I do imagine that on or even before the 29th, I will be able to make some sort of a plea.
While he was once on the honor block with plenty of privileges in Dannemora, Sweat is now in 23-hour-a-day solitary confinement at 5 Points Correctional Facility. He's already serving a life sentence without parole for murder. District Attorney Andrew Wiley says charging him with these new crimes gives the Department of Corrections the ability to maintain the current level of security as it sees fit.
It's my job as the prosecutor in this county to prosecute the people that commit crimes within this county. And that is the bottom line. He committed a crime here in this county, and I am prosecuting him for that crime.
Wiley says Sweat faces 3.5 to 7 years if found guilty. In Plattsburgh, Stacy DeSilva, Local 44 News.
Police say Sweat and fellow escapee Richard Matt broke into several cabins while on the run in Franklin County. Wiley says the Franklin County DA's office is still collecting evidence on any burglary or trespassing charges that may be filed.
Meanwhile, there are 2 other people connected to the prison escape. Joyce Mitchell is at Clinton County Jail facing up to 7 years behind bars. As part of her plea deal, Mitchell will not be charged with that alleged murder for hire plot or sexual allegations with Richard Matt, who was killed by a federal agent June 26th. District Attorney Andrew Wiley responded to the local communities who are saying that she got off too easy.
I can't prove it. I can't prove it on her statements alone. I can't prove it on a dead man's statement. So I don't have proof to charge her with that. If I did, if I could go to trial on those charges, proof beyond a reasonable doubt, we would have prosecuted her.
The case against Corrections Officer Gene Palmer is still pending. He's accused of giving the escapees tools wrapped in ground beef and tampering with evidence. Prosecutors say he knew nothing of the escape plans. Wiley told Local 44 today discussions with Palmer's attorney have reopened.
Vermont's DCF commissioner says policy and measures will be reviewed after a worker was shot and killed earlier this month. Local 44's Alex Rose talked one-on-one with Ken Schatz.
Lauren, the entire system is being overhauled since the tragedy in Barre. DCF has already implemented a system for workers to report any types of assault or threats, but we're learning that before this shooting, there was no concrete system in place to report those type of concerns. The Department for Children and Families has a mission to improve the safety of all children and families. Its clientele is growing.
We have a 33% increase of children in custody, primarily very young children related to the increase in opiate abuse.
DCF Commissioner Ken Schatz is trying to improve the safety of his employees.
These folks are doing heroes work. They're really taking on an exceptional, challenging role day after day. And they deserve our support.
People like social worker Lara Sobel. Sobel was shot and killed outside Barre City Place August 7th. Jody Herring is charged with her first-degree murder. Police say the violence stemmed from a custody dispute.
I think the nature of
DCF is often involved because a child has been abused or neglected, and that can lead to unsafe situations for the social workers themselves. But actual reports of violence against them are hard to find.
Historically, I'm not aware of any particular system in place regarding assaults or general threats.
State police confirm their agency does not keep statistics on whether a crime was work-related. Building and General Services is reviewing our request for information on whether it tracks crimes against state workers. While the department is giving workers time to grieve, an intense policy review is underway.
We've implemented a new system as a result of our heightened sensitivity to, in fact, ensure that any threats or actual assaults are reported to the DCF Central Office.
Other safety measures include communications between a social worker and their supervisor through a checking in and out of work system. Social workers have been known to work with police and sometimes team up with other social workers in certain types of cases. Back to you.
Now, as for online threats, the number has increased since the shooting. State police say they've been made aware of 7 threats.
The latest details now. The woman accused of killing Richmond EMT Brennan Cusino will be released on conditions. Her bail stands. This mugshot was released today of 23-year-old Carrie Benor. She was in court again today. Her bail review hearing continued from yesterday. The judge decided not to hold her. When she is released, Benor must live with her parents at home, and she is not allowed to drive. The state argued Benor is a threat to the public.
We're obviously disappointed that the court did not hold Ms. Benor without bail, but we respect the court's decision and we respect the process.
Another condition, the court is considering an electronic anklet bracelet. Her next court date has not yet been set.
In safety matters, Regal Cinemas is stepping up security following deadly movie theater shootings around the nation. Backpacks and bags of any kind will be subject to a search prior to you going in. While Regal acknowledges it may be an inconvenience, it hopes the new measure will ease people's minds. Regal Cinemas has a theater at Champlain Center Mall in Plattsburgh. Police are using the end of summer to remind you not to drink and drive. The End of Summer or Get Pulled Over campaign started today in New York. It continues through September 7th. One crash survivor says she hopes this will help prevent tragedies.
I think the idea of being jailed and having that hefty fines and stuff is kind of scary. But for mostly, I hope they understand too the seriousness that they can cause the damage to somebody else too.
According to the New York Governor's Traffic Safety Committee, while the legal limit is .08, many people are arrested at nearly twice that level.
Rebuilding after Tropical Storm Irene.
Coming up, inside Waterbury's new state office complex.
Plus, people travel from all over for the deals. We're taking you inside the Burton Summer Sale.
You're watching Local News That Matters with Lauren Maloney, Joe Smith, Sky Tracker Chief Meteorologist Sean Parker, and Sports Director Aaron Cofield. This is Local 44 News at 10 in high definition.